Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Stellaris, shall we? Well, the Sol system is doing really nice in terms of upgrades and finery, but we need to push M to go out to the galaxy map, and we're working on the Sirius system. We're getting serious. Yeah, okay, that's enough of that. Anyway, what we're doing is we're waiting to survey the system. You can see the progress bar here on the UNS Copernicus as it does that. Our construction ship is currently just chilling, orbiting, idle, waiting to do something when we get that surveyed. We got a new science ship down here that is currently just got built in the Sol system. We hired Antoinetta, and she's going over here to survey, and the Einstein is going here to survey. We're looking at the map, and because, let's see, in the government tab, we activated this map the stars. It is costing us a good bit of Unity to have this particular edict active. But for now, I really like it because one of the things that we want to look for as we explore and try to figure out how to expand our empire most effectively, we want to find the hyperlanes for these different systems. So you could see, for example, this system right here, which we don't really know anything about because it's outside of our orange fog of exploration. It's too far away. It does look like it has 1, 2, 3 hyperlanes, coming out of it, and then one coming back toward us. So we're trying to find systems that have planets that we can colonize, potentially. Systems that are rich. Ooh, look at this system. It's got the trinary star. Nice. Systems that are rich in resources, but also systems that are strategic. Because as we look around here, we're going to see that Earth is in a cluster of stars that can only be accessed, and at least it looks this way right now, by this point and this point. So what this would allow us to do is build defensive fortifications here and here at these choke points to defend our inner sanctum, our the interior of our world, so that we don't have to worry about what goes on here. Now, that's not going to be big enough for us to really have a nice system, even if we're going, or a nice empire, even if we were going tall. So in 4X games, terminology like this is, there's tall, which means you don't have a huge empire, but you really, really maximize and upgrade the empire that you do have. Or there's going wide strategically, which means you have an enormous sprawling empire and you don't have the resources to really fully upgrade all of your star bases and planets and such because you have so many of them. So it's either do you want to go all in on what you have and go tall, or do you want to, try to take over the entire map and go wide? We're going to see based on the layout, but in general with these kinds of games, I lean tall as opposed to wide, just because me personally, I don't always go for total domination victories. I like to have, I like building upgrades and all that stuff, but we'll see what presents itself based on the layout of the stars, based on our neighbors, based on technology and other things that we find. So I'm going to unpause the game, let this happen. Now, once you get a feel for it, I think it's well within... Actually, let me pause it again to talk about this. This system right here is fully surveyed, so I'm going to bring in a construction ship down here and start building. I'm going to go to the shipyard, and I'm going to go to the shipyard tab to the far right, and let's get a construction ship queued up. Currently, I only have 1 construction ship, 3 science vessels, and our fleet of 3 corvettes. So I'm going to build a construction ship. It takes 100 alloys, and we have 100 alloys. And we'll let that go. Now, once you get your feel for things, and you're happy with how everything is playing out, and you've given everybody a job and all that, then you can speed the game up beyond just normal speed. Now, pro players, people who are veterans of the game, they're setting these things up, then launching the game probably at like max speed to just churn through the beginning. But I'm going nice and slow so that we can get used to things. Now I'm going to select this construction ship, actually this one that's in the Sol system, and we want to right click down here, and we're just going to say build starbase outpost. So there's a couple of costs to this. It's going to cost us 90 alloys, which we have, and it's going to cost us 75 influence. That's what the purple person with the radiating circles from the head means. And it costs more influence to build starbases further away from your borders. So this is as affordable as we're going to get without any more upgrades to reduce the influence cost of starbases. So I'm going to do this, and now that ship is going to go there. At this point, now that we're ready, and we have that queued up, I'm just going to go, I'm going to push plus on the numpad twice to go to fastest speed.
System survey complete.
Perfect. Now, once we've completed the system, we have another job to do, but the game fortunately paused because we found an anomaly. Now, just like before, when you get an anomaly, we're going to pass on this. This is actually not that long, and it's interior, which I like, which means we could, take advantage of it once we get it in our borders. But for now, we're going to leave it be, and I'm going to go back to pausing the game. This is an important point. When you close a window that has auto-paused the game for you, on default settings, it resumes the game, so the time starts moving again, and you might not want that. So just be aware, because I want to talk about this science ship right here is now doing nothing. So, I was going to talk about automation with our construction ship, but that doesn't make any sense right now because we need to build starbases first. Let's talk about automation with this science ship. So we've manually sent a science ship over here, and look at this. We found a potentially habitable world. Now it's Arctic, which is not great for humans, but it's there. And we're going to discuss what it means to automate some of our exploration by taking Salma's UNS Copernicus and giving it the automation order. So on the ship panel in the bottom left, you see all these buttons right here to the right of the portrait of the officer or the scientist attached to it. We can just click survey to survey the system or research available anomalies in the system, or change the fleet stance, but the far right button is what we want, science ship automation. So once we click this, it says, okay, well, what do you want me to do now that I'm going to be taken over by the AI, basically, and automated? I want you to both explore and survey systems, but I don't want anomalies to be checked. I don't want you to check out archaeological sites, and I don't want you to do any special projects that we find automatically. These I like unchecked. I want these all to be manual if I do them. So I'm just going to click start, and immediately, look at this. She's got a job, and she's going to go down here and survey this system that we haven't explored yet, which is tremendous. Great. So now, I don't have to worry about her. She's going to do her thing on her own. Now, you can see, I'm going to unpause this. At any time, you can always just grab the ship back and give it orders if you'd like. Okay, I'm going to pause it if you want to stop its automation. But for now, I'm happy with this ship right now just doing its thing. It's going to go around to any system that we haven't yet explored and survey it or explore as need be. But I've got these other science ships, which I'm going to keep on manual for just a second out here. Now, a few indicators have flashed. So The anomaly notification we're going to turn off. The system is surveyed, so this means we can now select our construction ship that's here and build a starbase. Now, you can do that by right-clicking the system, or you can just click this button that says Build Starbase, and then select the system right there. So you kind of left-click this action, and then you left-click the system itself. And again, the cost was the same as before, I believe, which was 75 influence and 90 alloys. So you could see we had enough for that, barely, and we're firing away. Now look at this. We have enough unity now to get a new tradition. So I'm going to click on this and open up our tradition panel. So remember, a few episodes ago, we selected the discovery tree for our tradition, and we have a couple of options. We can To Boldly Go, or we can Science Division. So both of these are great. I think for now, I'm going to take To Boldly Go because it leads into databank uplinks, which helps research speed. But if you look at this, it says the effects of To Boldly Go is going to give us the Star Trek buff of 35% survey speed and 50% science ship disengage chance. So disengage chance is like if you're being attacked and you're trying to escape and not get killed by some hostile force, the higher your disengage chance means the more likely you are to survive some kind of assault on our science ship by whatever it is that might waylay it. So this is nice because they have like some evasive maneuvers and they're faster at surveying. I like it. Science Division is also really, really good because it gives you an extra scientist capacity without going over your chap, so we could have 4 instead of 3. Our scientists start with a higher skill level, so they have some, they're better, and we get an extra research alternative, which is amazing. So like instead of, I believe the way that this one works is instead of seeing 3 cards, we'll see 4 cards when we get to choose our research, which is just so good. But I want survey right now. I want to survey as fast as possible, so I'm going to go Boldly Go. Okay, so I want to keep exploring because it's a big universe out there. Now look at this. Already, because of the edict that we've passed, you can start to see that we're finding hyperlanes much further away than before, and we can get a feel for choke points that are developing. So this choke point, we liked it, but honestly, we can go out to this choke point because if nobody, the way you think about it with a choke point is like you see nobody can get to this, as we know. There's no lanes that we can see right now coming off of this or this. So the only way to get into us is to come from here. And this can be attacked or, reached from these 2 different locations. But this means that we can put our defensive fortifications here and then have even more interior systems to kind of not have to worry about having a fleet or extra defenses to guard, which is really, really nice. So that's exciting. And again, while the game is paused, we've taken care of the indicators and we've adopted the new tradition. If I go back to the society management and look at tradition, at the top it says we need to have 438 tradition to get the next option from these 5 to pick from. And you have to do these in order, by the way. I can't jump to Polytechnic education until I do this part of the tree first and follow the arrows. But eventually you're going to get all of these. They become progressively more expensive, costing more tradition as you go. And it tells you it's going to be like 18 months before that happens. So that's going. And what I like to do again is just look at all my stuff. How are we doing? Okay. All of my ships are doing something. Good. Do I need more construction ships? Probably not. Not right now. I think I'm okay. Do I want another science ship? Well, kind of, but I couldn't man it because I can only have 3 scientists. So if I wanted a 4th science ship, I'm going to have to take that that tradition right here, Science Division, to take advantage of that, get an extra scientist. And we might do that. So I'm going to unpause the game.
Construction complete.
And look at this. I'm pause it to talk about this. We just grabbed this system and our borders immediately bounced out. And now that this is in our borders, we can talk about automating our construction ship as well. It's just sitting here, and I'm going to just double click on the system to go into the system view and take a look around inside here, because now we can actually build some stuff. So if we want to start upgrading some of what we see in here, what we need to do is have our construction ship selected, and then, like, for example, right here, there's 6 minerals. That's amazing. So I can right click and I can say build a mining station. It'll cost me 100 minerals, but then we'll start gathering 6 minerals, and that'll add it to our, 19 that we're getting every month, which is great. There's also 2 physics research that we can get if we build a research station around the star, and there's some trade value that we can get. But these are interesting because you don't actually, these like rings that look like diamond rings or whatever, these you don't get by building stations or like mining stations or anything, but rather by building a trade hub to collect them. And then the trade hub would collect them and send them back to Earth. So we'd get trade value, which is nice. So given that, there is a desire to potentially go into this right here. This is the starbase at Yab Hanir, and I'm going to go to actually the starbase screen. It's currently just an outpost, but if we upgrade it to a starport, we could actually build a trade hub. You see how if I mouse over this, it says 2 trade value collected by trade hub to get these resources here. But it's expensive to upgrade this to a starport, and it's not necessarily the ideal system to do it in because we can only have 3 total upgraded, and we want probably our choke points to be upgraded as opposed to this, but it's something to consider. So I'm going to go back to the ship. I'm going to double click on it to highlight the system, double click on the system, oops, and I'm going to tell it to immediately build a mining station right here. Get that going. After it builds that, I'm going to automate that ship. I'm not automating it right now because I want to be in control and I want to tell it what to do because I want that right away. I don't want it to arbitrarily, pick some other upgrade that I don't want to do first. I want that to happen right away. Okay, and I'm going to quickly just check in on Earth. So I'm going to push 1 to bring up the planet screen. And you can look at the planet screen regardless of what system you're in, by the way. So we're on Earth, and we finished our civilian industries. And you can see that we have 2 available jobs, but somebody picked up a job here because look at our consumer goods. Remember how we were getting 1, I believe, before? Now we're getting 17 more, so we're getting a total of 18 per month. So that is phenomenal. So we've really, really bumped that up. I'm happy about that. That was a good choice. And we have some things that we could do. We don't have the minerals yet, but we could consider building another district. We could consider building another building. And we do have 2 available jobs, so we could build 1 more. Remember, 2, 3, 4, 5, like between 2 and 5 available jobs is fine, but anything more than 5 is probably too much. So that if you have like 8 available jobs, you're going to be paying upkeep on a lot of buildings and districts and not getting any benefit from them, and that's just not where we want to be. But you'll notice that our amenities have gone way down, and that's not great. So we might want to consider boosting our amenities. Our housing is at 7, which is fine. If we, for example, built a city district, we'd get 3 amenities, 3 trade value, 5 housing. That's good. But we also unlock a building slot, which means another one of these that's locked would open up so we could build more buildings. So that's a really nice consideration for us. And how much is this going to cost? $475. So we might want to think about that later. I'm going to zoom out. Unpause the game. By the way, when you pause and unpause the game, it goes back to whatever speed you had set. So we're moving really, really fast because we're at the fastest speed. Construction complete. So that means, look, our borders expanded again. We just wrapped around over here, and we picked up Sirius. So I'm going to tell this construction ship that's right in here, do we want to do anything with Sirius? And not really. These are okay, but they're not great. So I'm going to look around. And okay, here's what we're going to do. This is a good time to automate this ship. I'm going to automate this ship, and it automates construction. So it's going to go and just do its thing. And let's actually watch what it does. I'm going to click. This doesn't have as many toggles as the science ship does for telling it what to do. It's just going to go around building whatever it can. It does not build like star bases, of course. It just builds upgrades and systems that are within your borders that it can. So I'm going to unpause it and see what it's going to do. It wants to come right down here, and you could see now, once it picks up a job, it's going to go build a mining station on Sirius 4 and give us these extra 2 minerals, and that's fine. It does... Automating it is very convenient, but it is worth mentioning that it's going to be spending minerals.
Construction complete.
Okay, so this is done. So I'm going to then automate my other ship and tell it to just start going. So all of our minerals just got blown up because we're building stuff, but that's good. We're just taking advantage of the resources within our borders. A way you could think about this if you're a civilization player is that your science ships are like your scouts and your construction ships are like your workers upgrading your tiles. And you certainly want to do that. We found an anomaly. Remember, we're just going to leave all of these be. Plus, this one is very hard. It's going to take forever. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to speed it up. You see our minerals bumped up to 25 there. Now 27 because it finished the mining station. So it's like an initial hit, obviously.
System survey complete.
Okay, great. So we have finished surveying this system, and now I'm going to let this science ship, I want you to go here and explore this system. I'm not going to survey right now. I'm still manually controlling it because I want to know what's here, and then we're going to leave the anomaly. I'd like to get here. Okay, we're done harvesting all resources available, and so our ships, our construction ships, are sitting here, and they don't have any jobs to do. So they're automated, but there's nothing for them to do on the systems, and that means it's time to tell you to come build a starbase. Now, if I want to build a starbase, the problem is I'm lacking in influence. But why am I lacking in influence? It's because this system is too far away. I actually have 95 influence, which is enough normally, but this system is too far away from my borders. So we need to get this system surveyed first. So I'm going to come here and survey this system so that we can build a starbase here and then come out to this one. Now, let's see here. Do I want to build a starbase down here? It's not bad. Sure. So this ship isn't doing anything, so I'm going to say go here. And if I want to build a starbase, oh, it's not completely done yet. There's some good resources here, so that's our next project. All right.
System survey complete.
Oh, well, then that happened. So we definitely want to build a starbase over here. Now, this system isn't great. It's only got 3 research, engineering research that we can get, but what you want to do is just slowly expand your borders, and you want to do that adjacent. You don't want to build like right here and pay the extra influence, because then somebody else could come and settle within your borders and kind of cut you off and divide your empire, which is no good. You want to make sure that when you're expanding, you're doing so in a way that's adjacent to your existing borders. All right, so let's see. This ship right here isn't doing anything, so I'm going to survey this system right there. And let me go to my construction ship here. We're waiting. This ship is going to build a starbase right there. Okay.
System survey complete.
Sweet. Now it's done, and I want to build a starbase here, but I don't have the influence, so we have to wait on that. I'm going to right-click away from these. If you left-click on these, it takes you to the notification, like the location of it. All right. And let's see. By the way, you can see if a ship has been automated, its name here, I believe, turns to yellow to kind of show you which ones are automatically doing their thing.
Construction complete.
Boom. Fantastic. And this construction ship is now done.
Anomaly found.
We're going to leave this for now, and we're going to right-click this, and we have another tradition available. So if we take databank uplinks, this will allow us to have another edict, which is research subsidies, and we can boost our research station output by 20% and get more research from starbase constructions by 20%. These are like upgrades that you put on your starbase. But I want science division. So this lets us right away look at different research, more research options, more scientists, and our scientists start more skilled. So that's really nice. Okay. And oh, look at this. Alpha Centauri. This system has a continental habitable world of size 15. We want to get that as soon as possible. So I'm going to select... what is this side ship doing? That's fine. What are you doing? You're surveying that? That's good. That's fine. You could finish that. This automated science ship is already going to survey Alpha Centauri, which is great. Leave it. Okay, fantastic. So hopefully you could see, like, now the game is actually picking up. We've expanded our borders. There's a lot going on. We have several construction ships and science ships. Now, you can say that maybe I built that second construction ship too fast, but because I have an idle ship, but I just like to have two and have it ready to go. We're going to be using and building a lot of stuff as soon as we acquire the influence, and then we're going to be upgrading the borders and everything within those. Let's see. I got a ton of minerals.
System survey complete.
Okay. All right, that's nice system that extends our choke point even further and has 6 minerals. Okay. So we're continuing to survey this ship. It says it's done. I'm going to automate it. Oh, and it wants to come all the way back here. Okay, then never mind. I'm going to say no thank you to that, and I'm going to send you over here. Great. All right, so let's take a look at where we are. We have this blue blob that's growing as our borders expand. We're waiting for our science ship to get over to Alpha Centauri. Let me unpause the game.
System survey
I'm speeding it up. Okay, great. So we have finished surveying this system, and it's not a priority for me to get this system. You kind of have to pick and choose at the very beginning where you're going to build star bases to expand your borders, because your influence is just needs time to replenish. This science ship here says it doesn't have anything to do, so I'm going to tell it to just get this one so we can be done with all of the systems that are close to us.
Construction complete.
And now, everything within our borders that we can harvest has been upgraded by our construction ships, and we're getting it. So you could see in all of these systems that are in our borders that we have bases, they are having all of their resources mined. Now, if you select on them, you could see in green, there's 2 energy, there's 2 minerals coming from Sirius. And if I move my mouse away, you don't see them anymore because we get those. But if it's like down here, for example, if it's in white, that means we haven't yet acquired those, and we maybe want to go build there. So you can see from the galaxy map at a glance where we want to go. Now, I'm saving up everything to get a star base here so that we can potentially get this world. Now, I've saved this moment. This world right here is enormous, and let's talk about this. So I kind of wanted to talk about surveying and building bases and upgrading with construction ships, but now it's time to talk about starting the project to colonize Sirius III as we wrap up this video. So Sirius III here, if you look at it, it's a continental world, and it has an insane amount of city districts and industrial districts. So this gives us an idea of maybe what we want to do here. Each planet has a different identity or role in your empire based on what it can provide. I mean, if you really need something, you can min-max to do what you're going for, but usually you want to play into the strengths of the planet. So this planet only has 3 available generator districts, so it's probably not a good planet for us to like focus on making energy. It also only has, 6 free mining districts. So maybe not the best place to mine, but my goodness, are they good with industry and city? So that might be something that we think about. Maybe here we try to produce alloys or something like that, or consumer goods. So these are considerations. There's also a pretty good amount of agriculture districts too. So we love this. We love this world. We want to go here. How do we do that? We click colonize. In the upper right of the planet that you have not yet colonized, you'll see there is the option to colonize it. And there's also, by the way, this little icon here, which is atmospheric hallucinogen, which just makes biological pops happy, which we are. Lithoid pops happy. Physics research way up, but there's a little bit of resource output deduction because of the hallucinogens, but, this isn't massively affecting, but it's funny. And 90% habitability is just wild. So we're going to get a benefit here because this is incredibly wonderful for us. So let's colonize it. Once you click colonize, you get this screen that says colonize from humans. So you kind of pick like which species you want to come live here. Right now we only have humans, so we're going to pick humans, and that makes sense. But if you're like on this world right here, this one, which is Arctic, well, humans don't like Arctic, but you might have another species that does, and you select them to colonize that world because they have a better habitability on it. I'm going to select humans. To colonize, to build a colony ship, and to colonize this, it's going to take 200 food, which we have 2,000 of. It's going to take 200 consumer goods, which we have 800 of, now that we've boosted that, and 200 alloys, which we have 400 of. So I'm going to click it, and we get to name the colony. And Sirius Prime is fine. We're going to close this, and now this is going to happen, but nothing's happening on Sirius 3. It's happening at the Sol Station in our shipyard. So I'm going to click on our shipyard here, and you can go to the shipyard. You could see by clicking that button, we've queued up a colony ship. We can also just come here and build a colony ship too, but that does it for us and lets us specify. So now we have a colony ship that's going to be built and go over there, and we're going to start colonizing that world. We are surveying Alpha Centauri so that we can potentially get this in our borders and find another continental world to spread out to. We are automating our labor, and we're rocking and rolling with 3 science, 2 construction, feeling pretty good so far. And I hope you're still finding this series to be useful and fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Take care.